Yeah, so it's not worth it.
By the way, we're on air now.
Those were all three things.
No one can see it.
Yeah. Consensus, it is not worth our time or money. We could just party here and stuff.
Oh, and the JVC West captains don't miss out if we leave because they can still go to WCLR. They just have to pay like an extra $15.
Yeah, so something that kind of held us back from not leaving was because WCLR is something that the JVC West captains go to, as Taylor mentioned, and that actually has a lot of value to the captains because they get to like interact with the other captains. And just for, I don't know, I'm not in JC West, so I don't know how it works, but it's just good for them to interact with other captains. But I talked to Calvin Parker, who is like the president right now of CAPS, and he basically said that we would just pay the delegate fee. So it's not like we get any crazy
Plus an
discount.
extra $30.
Yeah, so we just have to pay more just to go to that one conference. But even going to that one conference, the cost does not outweigh what we would be just staying there and going to all the conferences.
So what's the action item here?
The action item is to leave CABS, but I also want to play devil's advocate because I don't want to make it really biased. But the other flip side is like, for example, we just found out that like Queens and Rotman and which other school joined?
Queens are wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, if we left, we'd be the only business school in Canada that was not a part of CAPS.
Oh.
But see, this is the point.
Excluding Ivy because Ivy doesn't have an undergrad society because they're only there for 2 years.
Think about it this way, why does that matter? Because, see, I see it this way, on the East Coast, those schools all interact with one another, like Queens, Toronto, Ryerson, McGill have pretty large sizable undergrad societies, so they can maybe get some benefit from it. We're rarely interacting with them, instead we're interacting with the West Coast schools, which are a lot smaller, so there's no benefit from that. It's not like professionals are gonna be like, oh, fuck them, they're not in CAPS. So honestly, there's no benefit.
CAPS also lost like $40,000 in a hotel fuck up, so.
I know like a lot of what I said has been sounding like it's reasons to leave. I'm actually in favor of staying in because I think it's just bad if we're the only one in Canada that's not a part of it because there's no other way you're gonna ever have a chance to interact with people from these business schools, and we might get something of value out of it one day. But that said, the exec council did vote to recommend we leave. So
Yeah.
I'm in favor of staying, but the exec council.
Okay,
Also to add to
oh.
that, like we already missed Roundtable, which is that one event that like is the
Everybody.
first event that everybody goes to. So we kind of just shafted ourselves because at this point, even if we do stay, like I haven't been interacting with them, so it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, like we're still in it, but like we already kind of like missed that first initial conference. So I'm not really like I just want to add that.
And then throwing shade at Vanessa.
Yeah, and they like hate me. They hate me, like, okay, this is like whatever, but I have tabs on my LinkedIn because when I first joined, I was like, oh, I'm on the strategic oversight committee, I'm so cool. I put it on my LinkedIn and I like just kept it there, obviously. And recently it was my anniversary. Actually, I'll show you. It was my anniversary.
It was so funny.
And one of the VP externals of CABS, and he's been like in CABS for a while, he basically threw shade at me on LinkedIn. It's pretty funny.
When business students throw shade.
Interesting. This might have been something. You can just read it. So like when we leave, they're pretty pissed off that we're leaving or that we don't think that there's any value towards it. This is public. I was just like, you are so childish.
I do say.
He's not being aggressive though, he seems like he's just being funny.
No, he's being aggressive. He's very passive aggressive. Like he'll message me on LinkedIn being like, oh, how are you doing? Like haven't seen you or haven't talked to you in a while. And I like left their WhatsApp group. I left everything because it was just all spam to me. But
So do you want the
Let's
council
move.
board to vote on it when they have their first meeting, or?
yeah, I mean, also another question is that like, do you want us to just leave this like we did last year for your team to decide? Or do you want us to just leave now and make the decision like so that you guys don't have to worry about it next year? Like that's also one valid question to ask.
Benny G.
Yeah, I feel like that's also like fair to these guys to decide. It's like all the value. I've gone to like 2 CAPS conferences. All the value I've gotten from it is now past, and like it might seem a little weird to like have gotten like I've gotten the phone to Winnipeg and all this other stuff even like 2 years ago, and now it's just like okay, well now I'm just voting to disband it for all future people. I think if the new team wants, they should probably decide. It just it looks weird otherwise. Like it looks like we got all the partying out of it that we wanted to, and now it's like, oh, screw the next gen.
But see that's what we got out of it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even be getting partying.
But the issue is that like for my rationale last year with like staying was because, I want to try it out first and then decide,
And actually, I'll
right?
respond to
And then
Fred,
now
too.
that means that you guys have to try it out again. It's just an ongoing.
I'll respond to Fred too.
I mean, like, they can always vote to join it again if they want to, so we can just vote to leave.
What the heck?
Partly too, it's just like, I guess if we leave, it just like doesn't leave that flexibility. Like, for example, when I was on Nils board, like 2 years ago, whatever that was, last year, I guess. Like they just sent me to one of the conferences, or there was one in like Lake Louise, and so because I was in Calgary, I just like drove up and then I met Nil there. Whereas some teams sent like their whole exec, so like that way we didn't have to spend much money at all, and it did add some value because I kind of went to like the big meetings, brought back. I don't know. That's like the counter thing, I suppose. I've had my jokes about like how it can be not that useful, but I think there is like some value. It just depends on what the team wants to do.
Yeah, by the way, this is for execs. Right, this is for execs, right? Like,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
board doesn't go. It's for
yeah, the
execs.
board doesn't go. It's just for execs. Kevin?
What have the other, in the past, like the other execs, like from their experience, what did they get out of it? Is this like an ongoing disappointment or is it just like this one time thing?
I went last year and basically nothing applies to like our roles because everything, like they do things completely differently.
Yeah.
Because they operate at a smaller scale. Like for reference, we are literally like 10 times the size in terms of budget of BD, and they're our closest school and arguably the one that like we care the most about. In terms of like absolute budget, we're the largest or second largest in Canada. The other one is Ted Rogers, and they have like basically depending on which year it is, the same budget we do. But that's because they have 10,000 undergraduates. We have 3,000, so they just collect a lot more from more people. But like in terms of scale, there is nobody doing like things on the same scale that we do. And as cocky as that sounds, I personally don't feel that there's enough value to justify spending like a couple $1,000s in student fees on flying out to somewhere in the middle of nowhere to basically party and drink and go to workshops that don't add up.
So it seems like today we're just wondering if we want to decide to leave today or leave the decision to the new exec and board. Do we want to vote on that portion? What do you?
Well, I don't think there needs to be a vote. I think we can probably reach a consensus of like, I think we already have reached a consensus of let the new board vote.
Sure.
Let's just give you all the information now so you make sure that you do make a decision instead of like being like us and then pushing it off.
Okay, Jen.
I was just wondering, because our membership forecast is
$1,000.
around $1,000, right?
Yep.
So what would be the, I guess, other, like, side of the thing, like, if we stay, like, pay that $1,000 and then, like, still be a member of CAPS, and then, like, we don't have to send everyone to all of these different conferences, but send, like, key people, like, throughout, so that they, like, have an opportunity, like, if they felt like there's a need, like, for example, I know, like, as president, I would probably want to attend, like, maybe at least one of these conferences, but maybe, like, throughout the year, if there's, like, more things that they're doing that's relevant to other, I guess, like, executives, like,
So what's the question?
I'm just like wondering, like, would there be value in staying, but not sending, like, everyone at once?
Like-
So, like, we're still minimizing the cost.
Like,
My argument is that the most value that you can get is if everyone goes and has a good time. Because like, I know when like we went, like it was like literally like
it was
you were like
me,
the
you,
smallest.
Matt, and Maddie.
Yeah, and it was just like awkward as fuck. Like it wasn't fun, and it wasn't like, and it wasn't fun, and it also wasn't like value added. So we've lost both ways. So unless you invite your whole team and everyone goes, then yes, like having so much fun because you're like
Like,
Good
I'm
time.
sorry, Ben first.
team bonding.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, on that point, like, I will say, like, we have had executives in the past that, like, go to the roundtable and stuff and, like, really have a blast, and really, like, if nothing else, just gives them, just, like, that bonding and stuff. I guess, and then partly, like, when I've talked to people in the past, they've said, like, this is kind of our way of, like, paying back, like, like, 'cause we don't get paid for these roles, right? So it's, like, kind of like a small way of just, like, yeah, you get a little perk for, like, doing all the work, and, like, that's kind of how some people used to view it, which is fair, I guess, if you sort of believe in that at all, but.
I think that if there is to be any kind of like compensation like that, then it should not be in a different city where we have to pay for airfare and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
The party just have a retreat.
I'm not advocating for that, I'm just saying like that was probably the main argument in the past to keep it, was like, we don't get paid, so like, let's do kind of this trip, and that's like a justifiable way.
At the end of the day, like it boils down to, I don't think it's a responsible use of good funds.
Taylor?
Okay, are we gonna keep giving the same arguments back and forth? Or
I think we can-
Are we just gonna let the next board vote? and move
I think we
on?
can, yeah, we can just let
Yeah.
the next board vote.
Okay, we can
Thanks
move on
for-
to
yeah.
that.
Thanks.
And if that's the case, then I have to send all your contact information to CAB so that they can invoice you and you guys decide from there.
Yeah.
And be added to all the groups because I'm gonna get kicked out soon.
Yeah, thanks for giving us your input about your experiences and stuff. It was really helpful. I've got for the execs that are coming in and for Jen to consider. So next up on the discussion item is meme
This is
presentation.
the last one.
Ben!
Hail them out.
That is the last one.
Technically, but
Oh.
but
I might be.
We should have just renamed it to the CUS roast.
Yeah.
Because things are pretty savage in this slide deck.
But, yeah, this is.
You kind of feel like this,
I think I did.
I don't know if we want to put this online.
I'm not sure.
So- let's end it.
Motion. Yeah, this should be an in-camera slide deck. Motion to go in camera.
Just adjourn the meeting.
Okay, let's
There's no
adjourn.
more formal business.
Okay, let's adjourn the meeting. Who wants to? Okay, all those who approve of adjourning the meeting.
Say aye. Wait, don't leave, group.
Okay, no, take care, we can't adjourn the meeting.
He'll leave.
No, we're adjourning the meeting and then we're staying.
Everyone lock the door.
I'll stay, guys.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
adjourn the meeting so we can close the live stream.
All those who approve of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
Say yes.
Aye. All those who oppose, say nay. Any abstentions? Seeing as there are none, the
Good
meeting has been
night.
adjourned. Bye.
Happy 2026.
I love